Oh, an invite, you say? Hold up. Let me just make sure that all the bots are working correctly. Oh, okay. You ended up creating your own Discord? Did you have a Discord before now? Oh god. What is Tyranny? Okay, so Tyranny is the second of the new stream of CRPGs that came out. So first came Pillars of Eternity, and then came Tyranny. I really like Tyranny. Tyranny took a lot of the ideas from Pillars of Eternity, refined them, and honestly, I think it might be my favorite of the Obsidian properties that I've played lately. Or really at all, to be honest. You started a Discord about 12 months ago? Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize. I think did I? No, I'm still following you. That's weird. Have you not been streaming much, man? I was about to say, did I unfollow you for some reason? And I didn't think I did. Yeah, so this isn't really... Well, I guess actually... No, this isn't indie. So they did Pillars of Eternity. Obsidian did Pillars of Eternity. And then they got contracted by Paradox to do Tyranny, to make their own CRPG. And this is the one that wasn't crowdfunded. And I really love this game. This game takes a lot of the ideas that they took from Pillars of Eternity. You can even tell, like, it's the exact same UI and layout and everything. But they did stuff like, oh, I don't know, made skills so that progressed as you used them. They added skill trees. They added the entire Spire system, which is really cool. You can cast various giant spells.
I got it.
I'm not going to spoil that too much, though, because that's kind of a major thing. Stream a lot? Why have I not been seeing you? Hold up, let me just double check. What the fuck? Okay, apparently I did end up unfollowing you for some reason. Yeah, it said that you were followed, I guess. I never know how to read the ones in chat. Okay, I've refollowed you.
I can't.
Sorry about that. I don't know why that happened. I have a tendency to just go through and look at people that I haven't watched in a while, so maybe it was just that I was cleaning shop. Like, I try to keep the numbers low just so that I can, I guess, highlight people more often. Although, actually, that's in need of doing that again. No, I'm pretty sure that it was just I hadn't watched you in a long time. I do this with Steam friends too. Like if I don't talk with someone in a long time, then I'll usually just unfriend them. Not really for anything they did, just didn't really have a reason to keep them around or keep the attachment around. Don't take it personally, is what I'm saying, I guess. Yeah, exactly. I don't really like having the big long lists of people. Usually the people that I tend to watch a lot, and I guess I just hadn't seen you around much, the people that I tend to watch a lot are people that I definitely know. Though, honestly, lately I've been accumulating a lot of people that I just followed on a whim. How you doing, Final Countdown? Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't... Like, I'm super worried now that I've offended you, and... Oh, God, I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, you were asking what Tyranny is like. Let me tell you what Tyranny is about. So, the tagline of Tyranny is sometimes evil wins, with the main backstory of Tyranny starting with your conquering of the Tears under the under the army of the Overlord Kairos. Now, we don't know that much about Kairos, and we probably won't get to know that much about Kairos in this game, but Kairos is the overlord of the entire world at this point, with the Tears being the last territory that was left unconquered. Thanks to our help, the Tears were eventually conquered, but at the very beginning of this game, we discovered a bit of a rebellion took place. During that time, we were introduced to the two Archons that were leading the Kairos armies, the Archon of Secrets, the Voices of Nerat, and the Archon of War, Graven Ash. These two don't like each other. They don't like each other so much that we were sent with something called an edict, a magical spell of such power that it can warp the lands in the sky. And we were supposed to use this edict to spur the two Archons into action so that they would finally crush the rebellion. However, when the time came for the rebellion to end, I decided that neither of them were to be the lords of the land. And so, I betrayed the Voices of Nerat and dropped his lieutenant off the side of this tower. And with that power, I gained my own. For you see, since then, I've been slowly diverging from the influence of the Overlord until I've finally myself been named an Archon, a source of magic. No one knows what to think of me. No one knows where I will end up. Kairos is probably starting to wonder if he or she should be scared. Do I have Subnautica? I do, yeah. I have played much Subnautica. If you had actually caught me earlier in my stream span, you would have seen many, many, many playthroughs of Subnautica. I did unaffiliate, yeah. I didn't really like where Twitch was going, and I also didn't really feel like the contract from affiliate was worth it. So we're streaming across YouTube and Twitch now. By the way, say hi to everyone on YouTube. I don't know if there's anyone on YouTube right now. Sometimes we have someone over there. But we are, like, if someone is over on the YouTube chat, like, for instance, hold up, let me demonstrate. Oh, wait, right, the bot's not connected. Derp. There we go. Yeah, there's Final Countdown over there. There's a lot of background coding that happens. Yep. And so Restream is just the thing that's actually allowing people to talk back and forth. Obviously, there's a little bit of improvement that I can make, but I'm slowly making those improvements over time. Eventually, I'm going to drop Restream's bot and replace it with my own. And I'm going to drop the Streamlabs chatbot and replace it with my own. Also, I really actually am very proud of the recap that we started this stream with. It was short, succinct, to the point, and really tells you what we're trying to do. The Overlord recently put out a proclamation, not an edict, a proclamation. And that proclamation is that only one of the Archons in this area are going to rule this territory. Either the other Archons will fall underneath my sway, or I will kill them. Currently, there are 4 Archons in this area. 4. We already covered the Voices of Nerat and Graven Ash, the 2 generals, but there's also the Tunon, the Adjudicator of Justice, or the Archon of Justice, who was until recently my boss. And then there's also Bled Mark, who is the personal assassin of Kairos and Tunon. Bled Mark has been working with me closely. However, I'm starting to get a little bit to be a bit of a handful for him, so I have a suspicion that he's either going to betray me at some point or something bad's going to go down. Elsa, what you doing? Yeah, the commands are working again. So what have you been up to, dude? Hold up. I know you were doing some live readings. Are you still doing live readings? But like you were doing Alice in Wonderland a long time ago. Did you ever finish that? It's actually really good to see you around. There we go. Undermine. Elsa. Hold up. Elsa's being cute. This must be seen. I really need to get a better light on this side. The side with the camera. Oh. Undermine is Xbone and Steam exclusive. Highly recommend. What is it? Sell me on it. It is an adventure with roguelike elements, mostly adventure. Roguelikes in particular are very hard to sell me on, unfortunately. And you can blame Binding of Isaac for that. It's not that I disliked Binding of Isaac, it's that I liked it too much. And because of that, I can't actually play any other roguelikes anymore. The Archon of I can do that too. That's a good way of putting it. Oh yeah, I should probably specify something. I am an Archon, which means that I am a source of magic. Archons are interesting in this. They're built on stories and belief, and they generally are individuals who wield the magic of their making to such a degree that it's hard to deny them their power. And as an Archon grows, and the longer they've been around, the more powerful their magic grows because the more belief people have in them. Magic in this game is very, very belief-driven. I believe that something like Kairos is entirely because he or she has conquered so much territory that it's so much. Like, it's hard to not believe in Kairos when the presence of her is just everywhere. I think Kairos is determined to be a she, but it's generally not. It doesn't matter. The Archon of Arcana. You can swing a pickaxe, throw pickaxe like a boomerang, use keys, bombs, top-down adventure. I feel like I've seen Undermine before. I feel like I've seen a boss rush of all of its bosses. See. Oh yeah, so I was talking about edicts as well. A while back, all of these territories, the one like this one and this one and this one, they were all masked by edicts. Edicts are world-changing spells, and until recently, the only one who could enact an edict was Kairos. She would write one out, and then she'd send a Fatebinder to enact it. However, I'm unique because I can make edicts too, and until recently, Kairos was the only one who was able to do it, so I've broken that particular streak. However, I've been thinking, I have a particular grudge against one of these Archons. I think it's time to pay the voices of Narat a bit of a visit. Oh, heck. That's actually really cool. Someone's actually bothering to select stories. Hopefully that catches on. All right, let's go say hi, shall we? Oh, are we literally just fighting them?
Your days end here.
I guess we're just fighting them. Hey, go smash that man.
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
Forfeit. Hold up. False pet on these guys. I'm just going to go ahead and increase the speed a little bit. These guys are not strong enough to really pose a threat to me. Horde boots, Scarlet Chorus leathers. Smashy, smashy. Oh yeah, each of these characters does have a bit of a story behind them. Lantry's my favorite. This is Lantry. And there's a lot of conversation to be had between all of them. Let me go ahead and increase this up to a decent level, so we're not getting penalties anymore. But I don't think I'll increase it that far. Do I want Arcane Shield? Yeah, we'll go with Arcane Shield. Lantry's kind of durable, surprisingly for a healer. But I don't use him that much.
Your days end here.
Okay. I'm gonna save Slowing of Sands.
I'll tear your skull now.
Yeah, I think I might actually have to join afterwards too, because I believe it gave me a temporary account in there. I will check it out though after this. What are you doing? Don't murder me. You've been trying to focus on Indian retro lately? Any particular retro games? I can certainly recommend a decent number of roguelikes. While I may not play the genre very much anymore, I've definitely seen enough of them. Some of which have slipped through the cracks, as it were.
Follow quietly. Paw soft, soft, soft.
Reading Rusted. Huh. Any particular story that you're picking up? By the way, for those who are interested, and those who like the stories that I do, Rusty here does live readings as well. And honestly, he's the only other streamer that I've seen who does live readings. Needs to be more of us. Needs to be way more of us.
Damn thing could use cloth.
God damn it. Hold up. Restore the land! That's a big spell, so there's going to be a long cooldown.
Strong strike.
Wait, no. Erase. Been a while, things got really creepy by trolls. Why would trolls... See, that's what I'm confused by. What? Why would there be so many problems with
Bastard, aren't you?
Bobby...
Take it harder than that.
I don't think I've heard of any of those. Had people telling you your lips were nice. So something that I do, and I can kind of show this off, is I do this. I don't bother with my face because I'm not that interested in doing that sort of stuff, I just put up a campfire. And I just have that up while I'm doing live readings. Usually put on some sound effects in the background too. Oh, reading Grim Bros. Oh, I haven't read that much of those. I don't really know what just happened, but verse seems to be on fire. It's been difficult to have time. Have you been super busy lately? Oh, something else that I should probably mention. Rusty also writes, and has actually published a book, or do you have 2 out now? I know you were working on another. At least I think I remember you saying you were working on another.
Can't do that.
All right, we will do story time after we deal with the voices of Nerat. Hold up. I want to see what this artifact ability does. Storm. Damn straight.
Damn thing couldn't pierce cloth.
Felt nothing.
By the way, Rusty, I was kind of inspired by your book. I've been kind of sort of in a lump in my own writing lately, and I was thinking that maybe a vignette style like you did was something that I could try to just sort of help. Because I've been having trouble finishing a story, like a single big story, and I was thinking that maybe just jumping all over the place and giving myself more room to just try different things with each different small story.
What the fuck is wrong with my weapon?
Would be a little bit more helpful. I haven't released that much lately, though. I'm gonna wait. Jesus, Kills and Shadows is a fuck ton of HP now. Oh yeah, I can definitely understand that. The problem is the lack of time, I think. If you don't have it like narrated,
Heads up, we have company.
it's hard to sell it. Yeah, they don't.
Break you.
It's really unfortunate, and it's part of the reason why I try to keep the storytelling
Damn thing
ideas
couldn't
alive.
pierce cloth.
The fuck was that? Poof. Poof! Oh my god, they explode. Why do they explode? I mean, Audible is always an option. I don't actually know how Audible deals work. Have you considered that? Just looking into just doing finding a finding a narrator or something like that. Yeah.
Have a look here.
That's a bit unfortunate. Sorry to hear that, man. Honestly, I can't even say that I'm not part of the problem.
Sorry, I can't. Sorry, I can't.
Ah, fair. We will do one story read after this. Hey, we can actually sleep here for free. Crimson Spear home.
Can't do that.
You may have broken even in total, and it is out there. Yeah. That's the other problem with any artistic endeavor, too. You're always competing against everyone else for everyone's attention. And while most artists tend to work together, at some point you're going to have... It's always some level of competition. Also, what are you doing? I think Elsa's hungry. But you know that.
Beast woman.
I think, honestly, I had a really unstable mindset when it comes to how I dealt with my fellow streamers. I always viewed them as competition and always looked at it as, oh no, they're doing so much better than me. Also, that's the voices of Nerat. We're going to save, and then we're going to deal with the voices of Nerat, and then we're going to read a story.
Your campaign ends here, maggot of unreason. We have no intention of joining the uncounted corpses littered in your path. We love to see an agent of the court shatter their bonds and declare their sovereignty, but you would have been better served wearing red. The gangs need more talent like yours. At least we can make an example of you that others will remember. We could have been magnificent together. But instead, we will have your bones fashioned into a scepter, your skin knotted into a belt, and your tongue fed to crows. At least crows know the meaning of respect and gratitude.
You aren't worried that this is a bit hasty? Not that I won't come along for the experience, but no one has challenged the Archon of Secrets and survived. I hope you'd thought this through.
Would it be a problem if I fought the Archon?
No, we're in a gang. Sometimes I may talk like I'm ready to ditch you, but you're the boss. I've got your back, but I also have to take a good hard look at your judgment before I follow you headfirst into the unknown.
Huh.
The Voices of Nerat is a terrifying, centuries-old mastermind, and neither of us have been around as long as him. That point seems worth emphasizing. I really hope you understand that he's going to hurt us.
It's true. We promise.
If you're up to it, then I'm with you. I've killed my share of gang bosses, and it doesn't take a genius to know when a leader is flagging and needs to be replaced. No offense, Archon.
She glances at the Voices of Nerat and frowns.
None taken, wretched girl. We have never been more proud of you than at this moment. You are everything the chorus strives to become.
Shall we end his miserable existence together, verse?
Sounds like a plan to me, boss. I'll sleep a lot better knowing there's one less parasite in the world.
Our little spy is right about one thing, you know. You're going to die, screaming. But your awareness will live for eternity, suffering within our magnificence.
You sure about that? We'll find out.
Attend to us, darlings! There is more than one way to skin a fate binder, and we will show you as many as possible.
The Voices of Nerat readies to attack. This should be interesting.
Come! Gather around and watch us destroy the fate binder.
Knock him down first. I don't know if this will work, but it's what I'm going to try.
Smells strange.
That's 163 damage. I don't know. Do we have any more enemies? Is it just him? Okay. It's just him. I don't really know what everyone's worried about. We'll find out, I guess. Let's start stacking buffs. Oh! What the fuck just happened?
A little help?
What's doing better? Oh, just my ability to not see other streamers as the competition. Oh, right. The other thing that we need to do is we need to put down, restore the land, and we need to do reject fear. Refuse pain is the ability that I'm thinking.
Deep.
Oh god, he's on Lantry. Why is he on Lantry?
Let them think they can hit me.
Is that a fragment of Brennick's? A lot of people you brought into the Discord are small streams. You just wanted to help. You don't feel particularly special, and you wanted to basically have a round table vibe where people can all try to grow or whatever they want. You work your career for money. Twitch is fun and art. Fair. You... Twitch has gotten so political and so on, mixed with marketing, and you just wanted to, like, game. Yeah. Ooh, what just happened? Get close to Lantry. We need to start... Yeah, they've got confused on them. That's not good. Okay, Lantry's now back to normal. He's still dazed, but that's fine.
Wake me up when it's over.
Felt nothing.
Cool. We expected that one of us would go down at some point. We have 2 revives, plus a lot of potions. I don't know what he just did. He just did a thing. Dazed, rending. To me, it's like if you're a nice place, people will come, and if you suck, they'd leave anyway. Well, thank you. Honestly, I always kind of saw you as one of the people who was just doing their own thing, and I think that in the environment of Twitch right now, that's something that we need.
Record?
There's a level of bravery in that, and just not really caring about what other people think. Let's see here. Do we have... Oh god, that's still on cooldown. Restore the land is really good. Honestly, Voices of Narad is surprisingly not as powerful as I expected.
Spill your
What
guts.
could make this better? Oh, right. More of us.
What did he hit us with? Daze? Stunned.
Will do.
I don't know what that ability is. The one that where he turns into a big old giant. Oh. Bleeding. Ew.
Had enough of us. How about a little more?
Nah, Voices. I think I'm good. Hey Lantry, you're almost at full health. Go ahead and do a Gift of Moments.
Right.
He'll be back in a moment. Oh, Voices of Narad is almost dead. You keep the mindset of you were going to play games, you might as well stream them. I'm kind of the idea that I want to tell stories.
We are never alone.
Above all. I consider myself a storyteller first and a streamer second. I realize that's not exactly the ideal idea for streaming, but it's what I chose to do, and it's part of the reason that I eventually decided that I didn't like. I didn't really want
Clumsy shit, bogus!
Such
to-
simple minds.
Are you guys? Hold up. Hold up, Lantry. Do we have to restore land? Oh, it's up. Restore land is currently up. What about refuse
Oh,
page?
now I have to kill you.
He's dead.
Approach us, you insignificant little morsel. We would have a word with you.
Sharing stories devs made is one of your favorite things. Yeah. Speaking of sharing stories, let's finish up this Archon fight, and then we have a story to roll. By the way, for those who don't know how the story system works, all of the stories that are currently listed in here are submitted by the various viewers. You can select a story, and it gives a little bit back to the other to the person who submitted them. Oh, whoops! Hold up. I think I forgot to silence something. Usually I'm better at silencing Twitch, or Discord, but sometimes I forget. God damn it. There we are. Now that's silenced. Someone ended up asking on YouTube, or not on YouTube, on Twitter recently, what is the reason you stream? And I said that it was to give the stories that hadn't been told a voice and to allow the ones that weren't appreciated to be appreciated. And I was going to say more, but that's honestly the best way to put it, I think. Wow, when did we get this many of them? You have subs, but it isn't like a love me sort of thing. Yeah. You have a nice point with the campfire, though. You set up a candle on your face and read, but maybe a simple screen would be nice. Yeah, I think that for the most part, people that are coming for narration are more interested in just listening. So they're probably not watching the stream anyway. Yeah. They're probably not, I should say, watching the video output of the stream and more just interested in the audio. Which I know a lot of people put me on in the background when I'm talking. Yeah, I honestly miss that too. I did manage to catch a few of your reading streams back when you did Alice in Wonderland. Not many of them, unfortunately, because your streams tend to not line up with my free time, but yeah. Ooh, Lovecraft would be a fun one. Anyway, I'm going to finish this, and then we'll approach one of our own stories. Approach us, you insignificant little morsel. We would have a word with you. The Archon clutches at his robes, the tears of which shine with dim green flame. Say what you would, creature.
Whatever the thoughtless rabble may whisper about this moment, don't delude yourself into thinking you are powerful, that you matter, or that someone out there isn't greater still. We came from nothing. Our deeds defined us to the people, and the people knew us as a monster. Did you imagine we were always flames, voices, and secrets? Think on that. You Archon of misguided decisions. At least you know the value of good advice. That will take you farther than any beaten trail, and it will bite deeper than any crude weapon of iron.
Something about this strikes the voices as funny. He begins to laugh. Short bursts develop into violent, uncontrollable spasms of insane joy. The voices lets his hands fall from his robes. The very flames that have defined him as a shapeless being whip into a frenzy, consuming him as they burn. You hear a distant, incoherent chorus of screams in the back of your head, but as quickly as it rises, it fades to silence. The Archon of Secrets is extinguished before your eyes.
No! Not like this! We were so close!
Ashwin. I don't think I remember her. Is she another notable streamer? Yeah, no. I completely understand you for stopping, honestly, if you were getting trolled all the time. Well, that's the best feel, isn't it? Just always getting someone who's always going to be there. For me, that is a viewer named Alpha, who is still in chat, and I don't even know what Alpha does during all of my streams, but he's always there. Or she. I actually don't know. Alpha, are you still here? Recently partnered. Okay. There are certain things that I definitely do better when I'm doing audible readings. She has a lot of artistic stuff, but mostly a Souls and Zelda person. Ah, gotcha. Souls will take you far, it seems. Shit. I guess that just happened. Good thing I'm still part of the gang. Right, boss?
So much knowledge was in that hive of a creature. If Narat weren't such a wanton monster, I'd almost shed a tear for his passing. Just think of how many tomes his minds could have filled. Though I suppose most of it would have been sketches of torture and fornication.
Shadow Hunter and Archon Killer. Terror. Death that stalks and swift silent strikes from darkness. Most feared predator in all of Tears Land.
She flexes her back, her black gleaming claws, pleased. Well then. Are you guys just gonna walk off? I just killed your Archon. You got nothing to say. Did he have anything that he dropped?
Will do.
Two things. The final scream. A one-handed something. I don't know what that is, actually. Ashwin led you to Phenomenon, who helped you with tech, who led you to Roseguard, who led you to me. Yeah, I haven't seen Roseguard around that much. I've been watching him still occasionally, though. I kind of wish that. I don't know. I feel like Roseguard has been sort of losing his steam lately. I really hope that's not the case because he's a cool guy. Yes. Oh, heck. All right, there's the story. Let's see. I completely forgot that if you select a story, it just does it on its own. Without logs or wood chips. Oh god, I forgot that I left that feature in. You know what? I'm going to leave that feature in. I'm going to leave that feature in. No, Final Countdown. I had completely forgotten about that. Now you have a way to do it without logs. You can just queue up your own stories, and it gives logs back to the people who submit them, which is usually Desalona, I might add. Which, yeah, that's a Tumblr post. That's probably Desalona. Raise Final Scream into the air and unleash a chaotic explosion of energy. All nearby enemies are pushed back, dazed and confused. Duration of affliction scales with the Final Scream's renown. The scepter has been wielded by the voices of Nerat, and by all accounts, has never known a second owner until now. Who crafted such a monstrous weapon is a matter of speculation, and it isn't beyond possibility that the Voices himself was responsible in some bygone era. Also, I'm going to click that before it ends up scrolling all the way up. That's the right way to think about it, in my opinion, Holy Rusted Metal. There's a level of living in the current that I think is needed to survive, but I sort of wonder how far it has to go sometimes. Like, I'm not exactly happy with the situation right now, but it's going to end soon. Very soon. Yeah. I have a suspicion I understand now why you're a little bit of a fan of Lovecraft, though. Rumors circulate that the screaming mouth at the head contains the agonizing howls of the Archon's family, who he tortured to death in the early years of Kairos' dominion as an act of fealty. The earliest mentions of the final scream came from a chronicler who attended the many of the public executions the Voice's house hosted. After a prolonged interrogation sessions, the Voices would finish his work by unveiling his scepter and bashing in the skull of his victim. Other accounts tell that when the Archon of Secrets rooted out treachery in the Empire, he would have Final Scream delivered as a gift, really a warning, to the household of the offender. Within the fortnight, he would pay the traitors a visit to retrieve his property, which often included members of the family. Some have interpreted this behavior as an invitation for the guilty to flee and grant the Voices the thrill of the hunt. The open eyes and mouth reveal a core of the Archon's signature green flame, which yet smolder with some semblance of his fractured awareness. This is what I'm talking about when I say that magic is very much built by the history of it. This is a magical item, and magical items in this game are rare. They are artifacts. They are powerful. They are built on stories, and as their stories grow, they get stronger. I love how Tyranny does magic. That being said, I'm probably never going to touch that. Okay, anyway. Story. Let's see. Death offers a game for your life. You decide on D&D. I assume you've never played? I asked. The cloaked figure across from me shook their head slowly. Great, I said. I'll be the DM. I'll walk you through everything. First, character creation. 6 hours later, Death sat leaned over the table with a Mountain Dew in one hand and a D20 in the other. Oh, I already love this story. Their hood was thrown back to reveal a bleached, grinning skull. We were in the company of 4 infernals from the depths of the abyss. I don't remember which of us invited each of them. Turns out we had quite a few friends in common. They rolled a 1. Oh, tough luck, I said with a smile. Fuck. This is the best time I've had in centuries. But I really should get back to work, they said reluctantly. Yeah, one of the demons agreed. I actually have a meeting with some senators in like an hour. Same time next week? Death asks. I'll be here, I agreed. I suspected they knew before we started that this was a game that didn't have to have an end and didn't have a winner. They came back the next week, and the week after that. After a month of weekly sessions, Death pulled me aside. Hey, he muttered, shuffling his skeletal feet a bit and rubbing his arm. I don't want to be that guy, but this game does have an end, right? I'm having a blast, but this is still technically work for me. And I have to file reports, especially with all the loopholes I had to pull to get a multi-session game approved in the first place. Oh yeah, for sure, I told him. There's lots of ways for it to end. Your characters could all die, we could finish the story we're telling together, or our group could even just stop playing. Satisfied, he took his place at the table. But for months thereafter, he would cock his head at me every time I ended a session with excitement to play again. All I could do was shrug. The weeks turned into months, turned into years, and Death stopped his reminders that our game, like everything else in the world, would eventually have to die. He told me, once, that he was determined to see this through to the end because my absurdly long game would make for a good story. But I think he had grown attached to his gnome cleric. Her magic was from the life domain, and his grin always seemed just a touch wider every time he healed someone. Half a decade after we began, my players were as seasoned as their level 20 characters, and I was running out of curveballs that would challenge them, so I wrote an end to the campaign. I spent months on it, carefully tying up every loose plot thread I could think of, and giving all 5 members of the party the best resolution I could muster. 3 of them got married to each other. There were tears flowing from every eye that wasn't an empty socket as I narrated their proverbial rides into the sunset, before I finally folded my screen, looked at each of them in turn, and said, "The end. Death, you can take my soul now." He froze, and the demons around the table turned as one to stare at him. Then, slowly, he cocked his head the same way he used to. "But you won," he said. "The object of the game is to tell a story with your friends. And you did." "But so did you," I cried. "And everyone knows that when Death wins a game, he gets your soul." Death's grin spread wider than it ever had when he saved someone's life in-game. "Didn't you just finish pouring it into a game that you shared with me?" There we go. Oh, so no worries. No worries. That's the end of it. So I'm not intending to re-affiliate. The reason that I'm unaffiliated is because I have more freedom without the affiliate contract. Also, if you did want to decide to support me, the option is still there. Honestly, I'm making more from not being affiliated than I ever was being affiliated. Because this is a thing. Kind of weird how that works. However, the stories don't end there, because we still have one more weapon to look at. It's the final countdown. Obviously, you could just focus on the candle. Yeah. So if you return to reading, what kind of screen would be good? Have you decided on a particular brand that you like for your stuff? I think that having something like a post-apocalyptic style or a More of a backwater campfire would work very well for you. Have you ever considered just setting up something custom? Like, this fire? That's custom. I actually adjusted it so that it was purple because that matches the branding that I've already set up. Death is indeed a lover, not a fighter. Might get some subs you wouldn't anyway, but honestly, you have no clue. I haven't seen your new Holy Rusted Border. Now that I'm followed, I can actually check out your streams again. I can't believe I unfollowed you. I had, like, no reason to. I am totally going to check out that Discord after this, though. Anyway. Ooh, Annihilation is a really good mod. Wait, is this a dagger? This is a dagger. Well, it's a one-handed weapon. Okay. Have you ever thought of leaning into, like, old rundown steampunk? I can hook you up with a couple of good artists if you're interested. I know at least 2 that might be able to help you with something like that. Yeah, no, I completely get you on that. As you can see, my own stuff is rarely around. Now that the cat's not there, I can actually turn that off. So this is Masterwork. This is the Gentle Touch. The voices of Narat's curved and serrated blade is elegant in spite of its wicked appearance. Considerable effort has gone into the uniformity of each of the tooth-like notches, suggesting the devotion and intentionality of a true artist. All the same, merely holding the blade overwhelms you with the reality that this instrument has caused suffering on an unimaginable scale. This sword's name would suggest mercy and restraint, but it would be mercy to strike a victim down at once, and restraint would only prolong suffering at the tip of this blade. Better to deliver death quickly than with a gentle touch. I like that. On weapon crit, bleeding. Oh, that's where the bleeding was coming from. Okay, this is going to verse. Oh, yeah. That is a huge bonus. 5 DPS. You almost never see a damage increase that big. What's it like, Verse? Holding one of the voices of Narat's weapons. Is there a particular reason that you were asking about the reaffiliation? I don't think Kukri's correct, because Kukri's are sort of pseudo... they're a bit of a different shape. Scimitar is closer. For a long time you wanted no branding because of gameplay. But Peanut Butter Princess, who did your emotes, would do a nice border, which matches a bit of the bit emote. Oh, you were just... Okay, yeah. For me, it's just not worth it. The funny thing is that I was sort of mixed when I was doing it. I had a big, long, hour-long stream of just talking to chat and just getting everyone's opinion. And when the votes finally came out, everyone agreed that it was probably just better in my interest to just drop affiliate. And I completely agreed with them. Wait, no. More might, more might. Oh god. Does Seize Prey and the Swift Savage... I do want Swift Savage Strike. There's not actually that much on here. While low on health, kills and shadows attacks twice with their normal weapon. Okay, that's pretty good. You try to respect artists' desire for what they like on Twitch? Yeah. The funny thing is, I actually lost almost nothing. If you have better Twitch TV, you still have access to all of my emotes, but you no longer have to pay for them. People can now support me at whatever tier they like, depending entirely on what they're able to give, rather than being locked into Twitch's arbitrary values. I can offer additional rewards at different tiers. Just Patreon is just a better deal. And I feel like Twitch is probably needs to start realizing that it's no longer a good deal for a lot of streamers to stay affiliated. Not if they're intending to do this. Not if they're intending to do this professionally, I should say. And I never push any other streamers, but especially since I was definitely in a strange position when I decided to do it. But it was a decision that I don't think I'm ever going to regret. Because in this position, I can spread across all of the streaming platforms, not one. I'm on YouTube and Twitch right now, but there's nothing to stop me from spreading to Facebook Gaming tomorrow. I owe you an apology, Fatebinder. Even atop this incredible structure, we need rings to keep the infirmary operational. I'm sure you understand. Oh, did I run out of money? Hold up.
Good day, Fatebinder. It's always nice. What do you need?
Hold up. I might need to sell some stuff real quick. The spires don't power themselves. They need money. Yeah, exactly. And they're effectively asking you to shoot yourself in the foot for the chance of a higher discoverability and the ability to make money. But with Patreon being a thing, there's nothing to stop you from making money. It's a raw deal. The only thing that stops you is your ability to drop.
Will do.
And as someone who actually does want to do this for a job, or less a job, more... Job sounds too simple. There's another way to put it, but I don't know what the word is now. A calling might be closer. Yes, I think calling is accurate. As someone who wants to do this as their calling, this is something that I have to take seriously, and just certain deals are not good enough. And some people are just like, how dare you talk about like money in relation to, well, this. And to them I say, I've got to eat, I have rent to pay, I have things to buy for the stream, tech breaks down, there are always going to be dues that run out. How am I going to keep myself fed? There is no way to not talk about money if it's going to be your calling, if it's going to be something that you need to do. Yeah. Calling does indeed need freedom. And if you already have an idea of what you're intending to do, then just do it. It is surprisingly a level of throwing yourself into the abyss and seeing if you can catch yourself on the way down. I don't know yet if I can, because I have not truly thrown myself into the abyss. But it's something that I certainly want to try. Bronze sword. I still don't know if Zeal is good. Yeah. It's dark down there. And there are many things with big eyeballs. You've got the right idea. You'll throw yourself into the abyss if it was lined with chocolate. Would you pay me to give you chocolate? Well, you'll be in the abyss yourself due to chucking yourself in after. Oh man, there's so much down here. Sorry, it's been ages since I've sold anything, and now that I realize that I'm actually running out of money, I need to sell some stuff and just make sure. And here's the thing, you remember how I said that a lot of things are not magic in this? This is just general gear, and the coloration doesn't really, it just indicates the quality of it. So you don't really need to care that much about the coloration, honestly. Some of this stuff has abilities, most of it doesn't. And so because of that, I can kind of ignore it. The stuff with abilities is sort of what I'm caring about, like Omnipotent right here. I don't want to sell this. This has Charred and Kindling on it. Hey. Tidecaster. This is Nimble. Then we got a couple of things. All accessories have abilities because that's all they have. Just an ability. Then we also sell all of this. You like chocolate, so maybe. Maybe I'll have to learn how to start making chocolate and distribute it. Excuse me. Distribute it. Recently, people have actually been sending me stuff. I need to visit my P.O. box because I know someone actually sent me something and I haven't looked at it. There we go. Now we can pay. We got 12 iron rings. We'll be fine for a long time. And I never will ask someone for funding. If they want to help support me, then that's their prerogative. I've never made it part of my own speech. Well, I've told them about Patreon, but that's pretty much it. I will never be like, hey, you should totally give me money.
Good day, Fatebinder. What do you need?
Because I don't know their financial situation. That would be rude. Yeah. And I don't think that any streamer should directly push funding, honestly. There are some situations where I think it's okay, like if someone is literally unable to feed themselves, which has happened a couple times. I've supported a couple streamers through the whole coronavirus stuff when they just literally didn't have a job and they were using the streaming as their only method of income. But that's pretty much the only time that I would do it. Also, we're going to go visit Graven Ash. Yeah. I've been really bad at posting goals, actually. Patreon has allowed me to do one thing, which I wasn't actually expecting, which was I posted more or less what I need to actually reasonably live through a month.
They won't see me coming.
Creep softly in shadow. Strike swiftly to kill.
Honestly, these guys aren't that tough. I'd like to hit the next email goal, but dang, I don't know how to ask for 25 freaking subs. That is a lot of cash. And this is something that I've actually been kind of sad about, because I did reach
Quiet down!
a sub tier shortly before I ended up unaffiliating. And then I discovered that by unaffiliating, I gained... How many? 9? 9 more affiliate or emote slots. Good job, me.
Slaughter. Ripping with claws!
Hey, Verse. Poke them with a good dagger.
Felt nothing.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think that Twitch is a good platform for artists. There are much better platforms for artists like Vimeo. Vimeo is effectively YouTube but for artists. And I feel like everyone forgets that it exists.
Spotted something.
Yeah, that's the other reason I ended up unaffiliating. My vision is not the same as what Twitch wants from me. Let's see here. Ioja's Calling, a two-handed masterwork staff. This staff of tree branches oozes rejuvenating sap. Ioja's Calling was held by the hierarch of the short-lived school of Mottled Bark, a collection of mages who turned their back on civilization and studied on the isolation of remote forests. It is suspected that diseases or misfortune ended their legacy, since all that remains of them are abandoned items or scraps of indecipherable lore. Sigil of Life and plus 1% health for every 6 seconds. Nice.
Quiet down!
Like, you've been here in the exact same situation where I have. Do you think that a storyteller, someone who's just doing live readings, can do just live readings without doing some sort of video game? I don't. I think that Twitch is completely incapable of supporting that sort of stream style. I don't think that you can reasonably be on Twitch without doing video games. Really? You buffed him. You buffed Lantry. Ah, whatever.
For the glory of Kairos!
Exactly. Okay, my question, why the fuck did they open the door? They opened the door so that I could come in.
I'd say that's worth a second glance.
Shadow.
Yeah. And I completely agree with that. I mean, I guess I wouldn't have asked the question if I didn't. But you know what I mean.
Right.
I'm so tired of people talking about multiplayer stuff too. I'm almost anti-multiplayer. I'm not perfectly completely anti-multiplayer, but I feel like it's focused on far too much.
Felt nothing.
Stories
You won't enjoy this as much as I do.
Stories are not appreciated as much as they used to be. As you said, people don't read anymore.
Consider
People
it
don't
done.
Felt nothing.
look at stories. They don't listen to stories. I think even
I'll tear
something
your
like
skull
Audible is
out
starting
by
to
your
go
ass.
downhill a little bit. Yeah, exactly. That's one of the reasons why I want to find a way to actually do live sessions around a real campfire, to bring that to viewers. This is the closest I can come to right now, but maybe in the future, when I have more resources, I can do something a little bit better. Hello? Stone shields, stone shields. Ah! I figured one of them would be Arenos.
The silence and cacophony tells me that the voices of Narat is dead, and I have every reason to celebrate. But I don't imagine for a moment that you came seeking my gratitude for a job well done.
On the contrary.
So, you see fit to grace my halls with your presence. This will be the last time. I have no wish to consort with traitors. You have held back this campaign against the Tears long enough. After I grind your bones into the dry earth, my disfavored will take back this realm for the vaunted North, and you will be forgotten.
You live in a city with 20% indigenous Alaskans, and the idea of a storyteller still holds strength. I'd like to go further north, honestly. I currently live in the West Coast, or on the West Coast, and it's too warm for me. There's too much rain. I'd like to go further north where there's actual snow and ice. Back where a campfire still holds sway.
Beast Woman and Alpha to Kills in Shadow have come hunt his favorite extinct. After many more than 5 seasons of hunting, finally, now, last Shadow Hunter will slaughter, will devour Alpha to ironclads. Will be Archon to ironclad's bones that are being ground between Beast Woman's killing teeth.
You have so much rain there. One possible way to recreate it would be entirely ambience. You could do pre-recorded streams fairly easily, or pre-recorded videos fairly easily, and just make sure that the ambience fits the story that you're telling. Something actually I would like to try at some point is an actual radio show, because a radio show would be, it's another thing that we don't really see as much anymore because people don't listen to the radio. Only 91 miles north of Canada. Yeah, I'm about that area. Wait, are you a Washingtonian? Holy Rusted Metal? Well, the Archon. Yeah, what she said.
Would that I had killed you back in Vendrian's Well. Had I a moment of foresight, I would not have hesitated to twist your head from your neck.
You know, I hope you realize, Graven Ash, you could have gotten out of this on my side.
Gather, my legion. We will see this pestilence dispatched for the battlement of war. Fatebinder, prepare yourself.
He could have gotten out of this.
Teach
Very
this one a lesson.
southeast Alaska.
We
Gotcha.
will not suffer insubordination.
Tongass National Rainforest Temperate. Oh, okay. Oh, you're north of Canada. I didn't realize that. Dude, if they had actually decided to, I don't know, attack us with all they had, then maybe they could have won this. But no, they're not going to.
The fuck is wrong with my weapon?
We didn't buff it yet. Now you've buffed it.
Prey hits hard!
Ha! Await my signal.
Felt nothing.
Let's see here.
How did I miss that?
Okay, so she's completely obliterating armor now.
Right. They won't even get close. I'll tear your skeleton out by your ass.
Powerful
Let's
kills
brave
in
my
shadow.
legion for the North.
North of Canada. I can only think of 3 places. Alaska, Greenland, and Iceland. Also the rest of the planet if you keep going north. Yeah. I'd like to visit the Arctic at some point, but I know that all I'd find there is a lot of ice and cold. It wouldn't be very interesting. That's a lot of stone. Okay. What else do we have?
Damn thing couldn't pierce cloth.
Damn straight he's paralyzed.
Let the land
This is not a fight you can win. Attack, my soldiers!
Come back here and die! Damn thing couldn't pierce cloth.
How about
I'll take care of it.
okay.
Felt nothing.
I like that ability. You don't get to use it very often, but it's a very fun one. Last two.
Don't throw your lives away, my northerners! I will handle this upstart myself!
Jesus. Oh, God. Vampiric weapon on verse.
More killing! More! Bleed for beast war!
Jesus fucking Christ. Ow. What? Oh, she's incapacitated.
This is useless. I should try something else. Wake me up when it's over.
This
Well, he hit very hard. God damn. Okay, verse, get up.
is embarrassing.
Let's see here.
I got it.
Touch beast woman again. Lose more than 5 fingers.
Verse did, oh, verse got stunned.
This is useless. I should try.
Why is verse stunned? What was that noise? Oh, you know,
Try something else.
a lot of very angry people. God damn it.
Oh, got dark all of a sudden.
This is a really bad place to fight him, but we should still be fine. Oh, he's doing a blade storm. That's not good. And he's dead. Stricken, the Archon looks down on his blood-stained hands with disbelief. Beads of sweat roll from his brow and glisten at the corner of his eyes. Raven Ash turns his attention up to you. The last of the fight has left him, and nothing remains but the final vestiges of a defeated man.
A word, please. Humor an old man and his regrets.
Ash glances at about the disfavored corpses littering the courtyard. His shoulders quake as his strength departs him. Say what you would, Archon.
You are on a path to incredible power. A path that I walked long, long ago. There was strength, victory, triumph. Everything an Archon of War should expect from a life so accomplished.
He takes a deep breath through his nose as he clings to life.
But there was also pain. Had I another century to describe it, I could not explain the punishing agony of my devotion.
Maybe all we need, Holy Rusted Metal, is just a little bit more cold in our lives. A bit more winter. I feel like we've become a little bit too complacent. These are the first words of the supervillain Death Freeze. Cold. That does sound really nice, though. I hear that Alaska's been trying to get people to move there for a while, too. Like, they'll actually pay you. Maybe I have something to consider there. What was the noise? What were you talking about, Bouncy Skoda? There's something about winter that I always appreciated. Ice and cold and just the sound of wind going over all of it. You don't get that in cities. We keep everything warm and livable. Everything's already been settled. There's no reason to do anything, so our attention turns to each other. Whenever you go south, you see how nothing really does too much for those that seek for the deeper things, and you can't really explain. Oh yeah, have you heard the sound of a lake singing? I'm sure this is a sound that most people haven't even thought about, but lakes, when they're frozen, can sing, and it is one of the most beautiful natural sounds that you can ever hear. There's also pain. Sorry.
My soldiers grew to depend on me, and I gifted them my protection. But I also took their harm upon myself. I had the strength to endure for a time. Every gutting, every crushed bone, every death. I took it all upon myself to spare my troops. You must be prepared to do the same.
Go on, Graven Ash.
Your rise to power is no matter of personal glory. It touches all who trail in your wake. When you ascend, you won't be alone. Far from it. There will be others who look to you. You will be responsible for them in more ways than you can know. Take care with those who follow you. Depend on each other. But harden yourself to accept the burden of their love. Devotion can bite deeper than any spear.
He looks to you, looks to your assembled company with a mixture of sympathy and regret.
I hope that you are prepared for what comes next. Because...
He grits his teeth as a fresh wave of agony threatens to overcome him.
Because Kairos will not make it easy.
His energy spent, the Archon releases all of his tension, and for an instant his face reflects deepest peace. Graven Ash, the last of the great northern warlords, dies before your eyes.
If Ironclad's Alpha crawls back to life, Kills and Shadow will happily mutilate Elder for vengeance again, and again, and again.
She kicks dirt at the remaining chunks of his corpse and grunts, satisfied when they neither wriggle nor make a sound. Seeing that one fall is like watching a spire hit the ground. Somehow I thought I'd enjoy it more. Verse frowns to herself and shrugs.
We actually did it! We slew the Archon of War! I'll document later. Right now, I think I need a change of pants and a good cleansing vomit.
That man was more of an army than we all knew. You have a lake here that you can walk all the way around. It has trees and skies and picnic table. And simple as that sounds, there's a sort of elegance. I completely understand that. There's a river that has so much built around it that you can barely even consider it a part of nature anymore. Something like that sounds amazing. You can travel and see the whole world when there isn't COVID. The majority of lore is given to you via a radio DJ named Mike. I assume on cars? Oh, Jesus. This ornate blade shines with blue-white radiance and gives off fingers of departing steam. It's got rending and freezing. Okay, the rest of this is just disfavored stuff. This medallion is typically gifted to the most proven and decorated officers of the disfavored legion. It represents the eternal gratitude and love of Graven Ash, Archon of War. Peacemaker, Ash's weapon. Oppressing and devastating. Blade Storm. Release blades of swirling death. The energy within Peacemaker covers the area with lightning, dealing slash and shock damage to all nearby enemies. Damage scales with Peacemaker's renown. Before he became an Archon, Graven Ash wielded Peacemaker in service of his king. I have, yeah. I've read him. Walden was the lake that he ended up spending a lot of time around before he wrote it, right? There's something about the Rose stuff that is just really fun, or really interesting to read, because you can't see that very easily anymore. Not with the same level of isolation, I should say. Isolation is something we don't get enough of these days anyway. That's kind of why I sort of don't mind the whole COVID situation. A while back, I didn't lose. My roommate ended up moving out, and well, it's strange. You'd think that the loneliness would get to me, but it hasn't. Almost an entire year now, and I don't mind it at all. He was a Harvard grad that sort of lived off his parents as he tried to figure out life. Yeah. Have you ever read that much in the way of philosophy, Holy Rusted Metal? You know, I'm just going to call you Rusty like everyone else does. Each of the great northern warlords was gifted a weapon of extraordinary power, and all of them, save this one, are said to hang in Cairo's trophy gallery. In spite of its age, the iron is lovingly preserved and treated with regular applications of oil. The word absolution is carved down the length of the haft in runes that predate Cairo's dominion. It can be inferred that Ash added this personal touch after his fall to disfavor, though he would never achieve what he sought. The great general kept Peacemaker close at all times and shared its history with no one. Legends dating back centuries imply that its lightning-wreathed head changed its aspect every 100 years, cycling between fire, water, storm, and gravelight in no discernible order. Even the name, Peacemaker, is a topic of scrutiny. The name only became a matter of record after Ash surrendered to Kairos, implying that Ash made his peace when he laid the hammer at Kairos' feet. Yeah, I've got cats. That's all I feel like I really need, to be honest. I wouldn't mind living in the middle of a forest in a cabin. Of course, the only problem with that is that I also demand good Wi-Fi, and that's kind of impossible. Merrick's Blackened Spear. This spear resembles an intimidating shard of night. Scouts preferring to go unnoticed, often garb themselves in black for nighttime raids, and this spear is no exception. Not even the moonlight would reflect on this length of polished iron as it closed the distance between its wielder and a soon-to-be surprised target. Night Hunter. Oh, okay. There's a healthy amount of isolation, and it is much larger than most realize. Oh, hello. I don't know what those hope to be accomplishing. Sigil of Stone. They're all dead now. Wait, I just realized, are we coming up on the end of the game? 2 Archons down. We're killing off major characters at this point. I have a suspicion that the end of the game might actually be achievable tonight if I wanted to keep going. Damn straight, get wrecked. So what made you decide to stop by again, Rusty, after such a long time? Was there something that reminded me of you? Or reminded you of me, I should say? Yeah. I think that you and me have a lot more in common than I initially expected, to be honest. I mean, obviously we're both writers and we both enjoy a good story, but...
Can't do that.
I didn't expect a shared sense of isolation Ah, fair. Yeah, I ended up starting even later than usual today. Let's stop by the tiers, or the spires one more time. And then we're going to the Bastard City! The funny thing is, they were talking about how I could use the, sorry, they were talking about how I could use all of the stuff that I had. What's this? Recipe for old water. To make old water with access to a Spire Infirmary, upgrading the proper materials.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Go to... not there. The Aurora Spire. You are INFJ as a Myers-Briggs. Oh, I forgot about that. 0.5% of man. The rarest type. I haven't looked at that thing in a long time. I haven't tried taking one of the tests. Let's see if we can upgrade some stuff real quick. Some of this stuff is as fully upgraded as we're reasonably going to get. Oh, we need hides. God damn it. I know one place where we can get hides. It's a strange combo that makes you shy and friendly. Considered the most outgoing introvert. I might actually see if I can take that test. It's been ages since I saw, so I genuinely don't remember. Let's see, Trainer Rice. Train. Can't train her. There's
You
another
learn
level.
something every day.
Based on their fear, based on loyalty. Here we are. Well, yeah, 4. That makes sense. Four of each type, I should say. I had someone... No. Where is this man who provides hides? It's not Barrick. Is it Torvis? Hail, Fatebinder, and welcome back to your spire. I must say, the view up here is quite impressive. The soldier scratches the back of his head and shrugs. I never thought I'd see the day when I greeted an agent of Tunon so happily. But then, I never thought I'd see the top of a spire either, so I guess we're all about breaking from tradition these days. I'm sure that Tunon has filled your head with all sorts of lessons, and the details would probably scare me half to death. But we all need you in peak form, and You need every means of defending yourself at your disposal. What do you say? Interested in some training on top of your training? Two-handed, two-handed, two-handed. Yes! More training. And you... Okay, Verse needs more levels. She very nearly leveled all the way up. It's kind of funny how Kills and Shadows is actually leveling up so fast that she may achieve something that no one else has, which is level 16. And more levels than this. Oh yeah. Hold up. You can redeem certain things too. You remember the Twitch points that I used to have? Yeah, those didn't go away. They just moved. Hold up. I want to see if this does something. I don't remember if I programmed it to do something. I guess not. What do we have after this game? Disco Elysium. Do I want to keep holding back Disco Elysium until March? I might. We'll see. Oh, hey, Campgrounds. Look at you throwing out everything. YouTube cannot display as many as the Campgrounds can. I'll have to make sure that for some reason those don't get double-etched. Varus. Hello, Varus. Varus. I couldn't help, or I couldn't be more proud to stand atop the spire with a true friend of the Legion, Fatebinder. He looks out to the horizon and takes a deep breath. I've been away from home for too long, and it's good to see the north from this vantage. Now you're up here, what's your plans? I'm an oathbound, and among other things, that means I'm a distinguished scout and hunter. I intend to do what I do best. Hides. I just realized you don't use two-handed weapons, do you? Oh my god, what a waste of experience. It's one-handed weapons. Oh my god. I got her two-handed all the way up to 75. But it's one-handed weapons that she levels with. Cat. Let's see here. I think it's finally time to pay Tunon's court a bit of a visit, shall we? This is going to be interesting. Yeah. I should have rested at the tower. Oh well. No more proceedings. Huh.
Fatebinder, thank you for answering my summons. This could very well be the defining hour of the conquest.
The pleasure is mine, Your Honor.
Your manners do you well. All the same, we are here for justice, not pleasantries. I first want to make it clear why we've assembled today. After the collapse of Vendrian's Well and the start of the Civil War, it became clear to me that there must have been some great fault on the part of the Archons. We come together to root out the source of our troubles, and determine which of the Archons has sown more chaos during the war.
I can point to the culprit and spare us the discussion. Bloodmulch aims the tip of his crude dagger at your heart. This is the scum who brought down the voices. I hope it isn't your intention to arm yourself before a court of peaceful legal representatives, Commander, unless to offer amusement as Bloodmark flays you for our delight. Callio offers an encouraging smile. He squints at Callio and slowly returns his weapon to its sheath. Tunon turns to aim what you can only assume is a stern look. He refocuses back on you with cool stoicism.
Much has happened since I dispatched you on that mission. Graven Ash and the voices of Nerat, the appointed generals of this war, are both dead. You were instructed with bringing justice to the unlawful, but you have clearly taken the law into your own hands.
I acted on the Overlord's admonition that only one Archon would rule the tiers. Do not attempt to lay responsibility for your treason at the Overlord's feet. One does not establish rule through turning code and committing murder. No one epitomized enlightened rule like the voices of Nerat. Bloodmulch blinks at you, then glances up to Tunon. Not that I disparage the Archon of Justice.
And you would be that self-appointed ruler. This court wonders what blood sacrifices your ambition will demand of you next. The court has a serious problem to address. Your conduct throughout this campaign has come into question, and you will answer for your actions.
You're damn straight I will. With your head.
You have made quite a name for yourself, Fatebinder. Stories of your deeds have spread through the tiers, and all of them have reached this court. Some actions have consequences. We will see what your actions have wrought. The chaos you've sown everywhere is unacceptable. You cast yourself so far outside the established order, I cannot begin to catalog your misdeeds. For this, you have been deemed guilty and must be executed.
Am I not allowed to have a trial? Is that not proper procedure?
The outcome is a foregone conclusion, Fatebinder. Your actions cannot be allowed to stand. But if you wish to make a mockery of this court, I will add it to your list of offenses.
I want to defend my actions.
Very well. If you insist we proceed, then we shall.
All right then.
You are on trial for transgressing on the Overlord's authority, breaking the laws of the Empire, bringing mayhem to an otherwise orderly conquest, and meddling in concerns that fell beyond your station. Our directive to bring Kairos' peace to the tiers has suffered, and you will answer for the part you played.
If you don't mind, Adjudicator, we are on familiar terms with the Fatebinder here. Should any inconsistencies require our input, we will add our voices as testimony. She nods to Regulus, then turns to you with an unreadable expression.
The court has inquiries into your conduct. I first call your travel companions to speak on your behalf as witnesses to your character or accomplices to your crimes. Who will speak on behalf of the Fatebinder? Scarlet Fury, you who sacrificed your old life for this one, step forward.
Me? As if the likes of me has any business speaking in a grand hall before the Archon. Why, I've murdered enough folk to stack their bodies up to the podium 10 times over. Your Honor.
Not helping, Verse.
The Fatebinder and I get along like a couple of cats. We scratch here and there, but there's respect to be had. Sometimes I think we agree on too much, but can't fight everyone.
I have a cat.
I suppose I've had worse bosses, and I suppose I've had better friends. But this one's something special. I've killed for her, and I'd do it again.
Will anyone else speak on the Fatebinder's behalf? Let the aged chronicler step forward.
If it may please the court, I will speak true. I have had the honor and privilege of shadowing the Archon. A dream come true for someone so eager to witness history in the unfolding. I can say, with conviction, I am following greatness.
And if required, I could produce my travelogue to back my claims. I have noted the good with the bad, and I think you'll find the Archon has been a force of order and balance. Exactly what you should want from a Fatebinder.
Will anyone else speak on the Fatebinder's behalf? Let the Beast Woman come forward and offer testimony. I would hear her speak.
Archon barks orders at Beast Woman. Thinks kills in shadow will obey.
She cocks her head to one side and stares at the Archon for a long moment, her lips twisted with barely contained violence. Then, with peeved huff, she lopes forward.
Beast Woman follows only toughest, most vicious alpha.
She puffs out her bare chest, proud and flaunting.
Alpha to kills in shadow has slain and rip-slaughtered ruthlessly, leaving trail of price corpses through all of Tyr's lands. His best fighter can make even ironclads flee, yelping in fear. Will not find better predator elsewhere.
Will anyone else speak on the Fatebinder's behalf?
Evidently not. The time has come for the Fatebinder to offer her testimony. You were tasked with bringing order to the conquest of the Tiers, and yet you ignored your directive from the Archons. Do you hold the conquest itself in contempt, or did none of the ruling factions convince you of their worth? Supporting the Archons who have already proved themselves lacking would have been a waste of progress. I recognized a better way to unify the Tiers. You make a better argument than I would have credited. If the Archons perform beneath their capacity, then I can understand why you sought a different route. Lethian's Crossing is under my protection, and yet you stole the Magebane Helm. Without the arcane protection that I commissioned from the Forgebound, the city is laid before the Bane like an offering. Why did you steal it? To be fair, a Fatebinder is tasked with using the tools at their disposal to resolve vital problems, and the Magebane is nothing if not a tool. Perhaps Zedenia would have been better served crafting a statue, but I will allow the defendant to explain. My rights as governor of Lethian's Crossing? We're not here to discuss what you might do, Archon Newt, Chaos Child. Fatefinder Callio shakes her head. We're here to discuss what you've already done. Iron or bronze should have served you well enough without having to steal the protection granted a city under my control. You resolved Kairos' Edict of Storms with legal contrivance. What's more, you spared Stalwart's ruling bloodline, circumventing the edict's very purpose. Did you think the Overlord's fury was a riddle for you to unravel? If the Overlord's will can be overcome by a legal loophole, don't you see the implication? Kairos is fallible. Your Honor, I move that this statement be stricken from the record on grounds of falsehood. For a long moment, the only sound is the whisper of Tunon's shifting robes. When the Archon finally speaks, his voice rolls through the chamber, as implacable as the headsman's falling axe. You presume to understand the Overlord's will. You believe that armed with a modicum of research and idle chatter, you outwitted the Overlord. I find your claims as repugnant as they are naive. You entered the Old Walls, a clear violation of Kairos law. How do you answer for this perversion of justice? Do you think yourself above the law? Does Archon's privilege not grant to the Archon the right to administrate their domain as they see fit? Do not my spires rise from the Old Walls? Do not my senses flow through them? The adjudicator's head declines slightly as he listens. A long moment of silence follows. An interesting premise, albeit one that assumes a great deal about your station in the spires. At the city of Halfgate, you killed the garrisoned chorusman who lawfully claimed it. A dozen of Kairos' servants bloodied the streets in your wake. I feel like lying is a bad idea. They attacked me and hence violated Kairos' peace. I defended myself appropriately. The adjudicator nods. I suspected as much. A pity you could not do so without eradicating Kairos' presence in the town. Ever since you arrived at the Tiers, you have proven stubbornly tight-lipped. Your speech is often stilled, as if some great terror or apprehension. Can you even answer for this anomaly? Or are you too simple to manage it? I'm the strong, quiet type. In my dispensation of justice, I find it most useful to let others do the talking while I observe and allow them to incriminate themselves. That is a better justification than I had suspected. Thank you for satisfying my curiosity.
I have one final question, Fatebinder. You were brought to this campaign to adjudicate the disagreements between the two armies. After your arrival, matters quickly escalated into a civil war. Did you knowingly join the conquest of the Tiers to sow discord in your wake, or were you merely a victim of circumstance?
I recognized the Archon's corruption from the start. It was only a matter of time before they turned on each other, and I was prepared for that eventuality.
If you anticipated a failure on this scale, you should have informed me, or else worked to avoid it rather than pit combatants against each other.
It was an inevitability, Tunon. Truly, the wisdom of the court knows no bounds, Your Honor. Regulus turns to you with an imperious look.
I am finished with my line of questioning. Have you any closing remarks for the court?
I just want to say that I don't recognize the court's authority to judge me. The years have shown me that war and conflict can change the face of the tears. I am the hammer that pounds ore into a workable shape.
I see the conquest has left its mark. Thank you for your testimony, Fatebinder. I believe I have enough to make a ruling.
Oh boy.
After weighing the charges, this court finds you guilty of all charges. It is this court's opinion that you are a seditious mastermind, a scheming derelict, and a traitor bent on sowing the destruction of the Northern Empire. The sentence is death.
Oh boy. Prepare to face the only worthy power in this realm.
Hubris in the face of annihilation. My court and the world at large are better rid of you, wretched thing. Blood and Mark, execute her.
Blood and Mark emerges from the shadows behind you. He steps forward with purpose, his daggers drawn. I'm curious about that too, Zatara.
Don't look so astonished, kid. I did warn you this would happen.
You did at that.
Now shadow hunts shadow, but Beast Woman's claws can rend even darkness, can make shadows bleed and howl. We'll kill, we'll rip maul and devour Archon, who strikes at Alpha, the last shadow hunter in these lands. At Alpha to kills in shadow.
This is going to be an interesting fight. 10% chance to hit him. That's not good.
At once.
The trick is to keep twisting till you hear the snap.
Oops. God damn it. Ah! Leg got caught. Honestly, I think that you're a little bit overblown. But that's just my opinion, dude. By the way, one of your former colleagues is coming back to kill you.
The trick is to keep twisting till you hear the snap.
He's almost dead already.
Oh, I'll be filling that one for a bit.
Golden, glowering eyes wide with surprise, the Archon tumbles to the ground, coughing blood as dark as the shadows that billow and ebb around him. He clutches at his shattered ribs and grins.
Look at you. The surprise of a lifetime.
He gasps, drowning as his lungs fill with blood. The light in his eyes dims as his pupils seep blackness, expanding to fill the whole of his eyes. A look of meaning passes between you, his fingers digging into the ground.
Don't die too easily. Won't look good for me. This brightness is blinding.
My headsman. His life was not yours to take.
And neither was mine. Behind Tunon's anger, you detect a more subtle reaction. Disbelief.
This is your end, student. No mercy for traitors. Only the cold embrace of the grave.
You will be judged at the end of a blade.
Trouble is afoot.
Hey, look at that. They weren't kidding. They indeed are not helping him. Arcane Unraveling. What's this do? Fires a bolt of energy that explodes in the area around the target, weakening and fatiguing all bane inside the radius. I don't think this does anything, but I've got it. I didn't even realize that she still had that ability. What? She still has the Dauntless?
This is embarrassing.
Oh yeah. Lantry, if you could.
Good work.
And Lantry.
Wait for it.
Oh jeez.
This'll be fun.
Oh, he's dead.
You have learned much in your few years, Archon. Striking down our kind is more than the swinging of a blade or pounding of a mallet.
Indeed.
There are Kairos' laws, and the laws that govern our natural order. I fear they often diverge. I have broken the laws of nature for too long. Life should end in its course. And this is my time at last.
Through the pain, you could hear something like a satisfaction on Tunon's words.
Kairos is coming. An army swifter and more dangerous than Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus combined makes for the Tears, propelled by the Overlord's will. Your efforts here are wasted. You cannot halt this advance.
But I've dealt with the Archons and unified the Tears. Everything Kairos wants. Why would Kairos wish for more bloodshed?
Your power upsets the order of things. These reinforcements departed to ensure that we followed Kairos' demand to settle amongst ourselves the strongest Archon. But your power, your echo of the edict, Kairos will doubtless make no gamble on your loyalty. If you would sue for peace, supplicate before the Overlord, shout it from the mountain spire and spread missives across Taratus. Make as public a display of your fealty as you can. Hence did I earn the mercy of the Overlord. For the sake of the Tears, I hope Kairos retains some of the mercy that she possessed when first I came to be called Archon.
Tunon raises his arms up high and looks up at the ceiling of his court. With a flash of arcane power, the Archon is no more. And that's chorus justice for you. No matter how tall you may stand, someone below is eager to watch you fall. If you had told me this morning you're going to slay the oldest living Archon, I'd have thought you mad. Sketching what remains of the Archon of Justice, Lantry's hand moves with hurried excitement. I bet he never thought he'd be done in by one of his own Fatebinders. His downfall will make for a most amusing chapter of the Chronicle.
Archon was not so tough. Like all creatures, grew weak from too many seasons. Was Prima's favored for too long. Became weighted down with too much arrogance.
And he's gone. The face of judgment. Judge an enemy, freezing them in a solid block of ice. While in this state, they are unable to take any actions. These effects scale with the face of judgment's renown. This mask of stern and unforgiving iron was previously worn by Tunon the Adjudicator as a symbol of impartiality. Even before he assumed his mantle of Archon and Lawbringer, Tunon's obsession with fair procedure extended to his face, which he did not trust to audience a trial without expressing some unintended bias. This mask replaced a previous variation made of wood, and was assigned to Tunon when he became the Archon of Justice. In keeping with Tunon's severity, his mask is extremely uncomfortable. How he wore this for uninterrupted centuries is a mystery. His mask is nothing if not an extension of one of his core philosophies, that everyone should feel protected under Kairos law, but no one should feel safe. Tunon's gavel is heavier than it looks. The Adjudicator must have been strong to hold it suspended above the ground for so many years. Rule of law was an extension of Tunon's will. He brought this weapon to bear in the deliverance of Kairos' judgment. Some of its powers seem to have departed along with the Adjudicator, but it remains a steadfast and intimidating weapon. Okay, so I'm going to see what's after this. Also, thank you for sticking with me through all of this, Zutara. And you are one of like 2 people who have. I don't know why. Usually the ends of streams are big. But also, this is a lot shorter. This is a lot shorter than I expected. Are we done? Oh, what? Kremlin Kev, what are you doing? No. You goob. You hacked the system. You subscribed to a non-affiliate. You found the way. Nice. You're still a subscriber. My God. I don't even know what to say. I don't know where that money's going to either. Like, good God, Twitch. You better be giving that to me somehow. Alright, so now, here's the question. I've murdered every Archon, right? Are we going after Kairos herself now? Also, I'm going to talk to Barrick real quick. Where the fuck is Barrick? There he is. You try to get Barrick's attention, but he cannot find the strength to lift his head and register your presence. His helmet is downcast, the iron around his eyes and mouth corroded into ragged slits that lack any of their former evident humanity. I had to kill Graven Ash. He didn't give me any choice. You hear a choked sob under his helmet, but it goes silent just as quickly. Are you still with me, Barrick?
Packmate is sleeping. Maybe it's good time to pry from iron shell, to carve claws into skin and lick welling blood trails.
A tremor passes through his armor. Separate from awareness, it strikes you as the jerking reflexes of a dead nerve. You can't even tell if Barrick is awake under his rusted shell, much less alive. His head moves to the left and right, a pantomime of refusal that might be nothing more than a loss of focus and coordination. Stand at attention! His shoulders slump even deeper than before. Barrick's knees lack the strength to support his heavy frame, and it seems to take all of his remaining willpower to stay upright. Wow. We Jesus.
Right.
I didn't actually think that killing his general would do that much to him. Verse, how are you feeling? I think I broke his soul. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Holy shit. Fatebinder. Never thought about that anyone could get the jump on the voices of Nerat. He had lasted most of his enemies and ate the others. He was this great, bottomless thing. I just assumed that he would be around forever. And now he's dead. It's hard to believe, really. I'm happy, but he also gave me this life, this name. I hated him, but he was also incredible. An artist. What I'm trying to say here is that I'm impressed. You've exceeded my low expectations. Do you think the Voices is really dead? If we're being honest with each other, I have my doubts. The Voices could scheme 1,000 years, 1,000 steps ahead of anyone. I can only imagine that he had something planned for his death, some contingency. It could be so complex that we might never recognize it if we saw it. It might not even happen in our lifetimes, if we're lucky.
What do you need?
Hold up.
At your service. What do you need? What I won't. Until then, I plan to take whatever I can from life and have a little fun along the way.
Now, there was something... Let's see.
The Scarlet Chorus is mostly for...
Okay, we already got all the information out of her.
I trust all is well, my glorious Archon. I'm honored you wish to speak. What is it you need? Ask away. My one concern with Barrick is that he's still loyal to Graven Ash and not to you.
Yeah, I'm
Ask
not
away.
sure exactly
What
what
is
to
it you
do
need?
about Barrick, if I'm being perfectly honest. The waves of energy radiating from the spire draw you forward, pressing your body and mind to its eager embrace. At the center of this tide, the resonator stands ready to broadcast your voice, echoing your commandments to the farthest reaches of the tiers and beyond. From here, the highest points in all the peninsula, you could, with the sum total of your efforts, project your will far north, past the edges of the tiers, proclaim your edict as far as the lands of the Northern Empire.
How could you ask such a thing? I can't possibly make such a far-reaching decision. I'm sorry you have more options than you have convictions.
Lantry swats his quill at you as he switches to a sepia ink.
Alpha should bite at foes with fire and blood. Venom and darkness. Want to watch flailing, fleeing humans lit as fires and shadow. Want to listen to death yowls consumed by crackling flames.
Can you turn everyone inside out? Or make them piss rings? Damn it, I can't decide. You figure it out. I'll just be in the way. Your words are barely perceptible over the winds until the first peal of echoes ricochets back from the valley's mountainous ring, at which point the echo makes further speaking a bit confusing. The actual definition of your words are lost in the echo, but a sonorous flood of your voice fills the valley with the sound of a distant thunderclap. I am the last Archon standing in the tiers. It's time to send word to Kairos. The conquest is complete. Wait, no. With your work here in the Tiers all but complete, you take a deep breath, a breath of the cool, tranquil spire air, and allow yourself a moment to think. By the letter of Kairos' orders, you have done all that is asked. You delivered the Edict of Execution and brought the Archons to heal as ordered. While you have the victory of the moment to savor, you find yourself wanting for answers. Only the Archons have met Kairos, and while you are now counted among these luminaries, the battlefield promotion was hardly the revealing initiation rite you long imagined all Archons experience. Looking back on the events of the war, it seems implausible that this moment has caught Kairos entirely by surprise. Half a league beneath your feet sits Ascension Hall. Had the Edict of Execution not been stopped, the resulting deaths would have done the work of the Civil War and the culling call of the Archons. And had it not been you to resolve the Edict of Execution, who else? Would that person be standing where you now stand? If the Overlord is indeed prescient of anything, this moment was a long time coming. It would be reasoned that Kairos wanted the strongest Archon to rule the Tiers alone. It also stands to reason that Kairos was willing to put Graven Ash and the Voices of Nerat on a collision course to discovering the spires. It seems easy to imagine even the Civil War was part of Kairos' plan. Your mind can't help but focus on what's missing. Kairos has said nothing of your power. The exercise of your magical gift has not been condemned, or remarked upon in any way. I'm the last Archon standing in the Tiers. It's time to send word to Kairos. The conquest is complete.
Alpha to Kills in Shadow wishes to bow. Why submit? Why?
The day may come when I overtake Kairos, but I am a patient hunter, and I expect my hunting hound to be patient as well.
Well, Kills in Shadow does not recognize Overlord that shows no face. Archon may be loyal to Kairos, but Kills in Shadow is loyal only to Archon.
Shit. We're not exactly ass-deep in friends, are we? And so long as you can call down an edict, Kairos will have eyes on you, if not worse. Better the Overlord watch you as a student than a rival, I guess.
Oh, this certainly won't end in our executions. Kairos would never demand his Archons fight one another to the doom of all.
Considering Kairos' most recent order, I think the Overlord and the Voices of Nerat have something in common. They both seem willing to forgive most any behavior if it's backed with demonstrable strength and plausible loyalty.
I won't question your final judgment. I swore you an oath after all. Just remember that even if Kairos decides you chose our every action by her orders, she may still condemn you for the outcome. Her philosophy holds as much in common with Tunon's as Nerat's.
The letter of Kairos' order has been fulfilled, as a single Archon now rules triumphantly over a unified Tiers. On second thought, with the powers I've shown, I doubt Kairos will let me live. This probably amounts to a declaration of war against the Overlord. Are you ready? Back at the Spire, everyone's favorite destination for pissing off Kairos. This has been a long time coming, Fatebinder. I'm ready, but I hope you're prepared for whatever's ahead. This is new territory for us all. You're the first to strike a blow directly at the Overlord. Make sure it counts. Hope you don't mind if I stand back and take notes, but by all means, continue.
Beast Woman and Alpha to Kills in Shadow have slaughtered many tough challengers in fight for survival. Have hunted Archons and ravaged whole armies. If Kairos was in Tyr's lands, Shadowhunter would tear out human Prima's throat, consume fear-flooded heart, and scent-mark humans' mangled bones. Alpha too would do the same. It's beginning of new season, of time to hunt human called Overlord.
If I don't show Kairos my ability to cast the Edict is more than a one-time thing, the attacks will never stop. That would be a riposte for the ages. If it were up to me, we'd debate the matter until Kairos' forces were upon us. You had better hurry. He nods to the resonator at the center of the spire. The spire awaits your command. Where exactly am I aiming this? There it is.
The Tears have been conquered, unified at last under a single banner. Your edict brings devastation and ruin to the Northern Empire. Some believe the edict to be Kairos' work. Others hope, or fear, that this edict comes from a new voice. Kairos' forces withdraw from their march upon the Tears, as they are sent into disarray by your edict. With none left in the Tears to challenge your claim, you fortify your grasp on the war-torn realm. The Overlord's conquest of the known world has come to a halt, and the whisper of a challenger to Kairos' power slowly spreads throughout the land.
Your Edict of Nightfall shrouds the northern capital in unending darkness. While some remain in their homes and beg Kairos for salvation, those less hopeful make for brighter parts of the Empire, seeking the warmth of the sun and wondering how it was that the Overlord could not protect them. As chaos ensued in the Northern Kingdom, the armies marching on the Tears received an unprecedented order. The armies were to fall back to the capital and ensure the safety of its people from the edict. For the first time in Kairos' great conquest, the armies retreated. Soon questions would be asked in a hushed breath across the lands about what new and terrible power had emerged that could force the hand of the Overlord. You fulfilled Kairos' decree, and all the Tears is now ruled by a single Archon. Your former rivals have either submitted to you or perished, bringing the civil war to a close. Neither of the Archons charged with conquering the Tears impressed you enough to follow their lead. You ultimately defied your orders, seeing a better way to gain control. Eliminating every Archon who dared stand in your way, you carved your own seat of power in the Tears, keeping yourself independent from the Northern Empire. In their pride, the disfavored never imagined themselves beaten, especially when their opponents appeared so disorganized. The last remnants of the Legion dispersed, their general destroyed, their honor broken beyond mending. The scorn that follows their humbled ranks haunts them even in the depths of obscurity. The Scarlet Chorus may have been mighty in numbers, but that didn't stop them from being that didn't stop you from thoroughly scattering them, cutting off the serpent's head and sending each of the gangs howling back to the chaos they sowed. How the remnants of the Horde occupy themselves without a war to fight becomes a topic for nightmares. Word of your success spreads beyond the tiers as well. Even the most distant corners of the Empire whisper of the Fatebinder who rose to become an Archon, and an Archon whose intervention shattered the conquest, making way for a new future in the devastated nation. Without the authority of Kairos Archons to enforce the Overlord's vision on the world, the fall of the conquest becomes a great revolution. Warring factions struggle for dominance and infighting is a fact of daily life. Every group insists the situation is an opportunity for the tiers to rebuild as they see fit. The Edict of Stone continues to ravage the Stone Sea, sapping the land of arcane power and shifting the terrain at increasingly treacherous angles. And any evidence of the former Realm of Azure vanishes over time, until all that survives is a memory. Cairn, left to suffer in his half-dead state, continues to cause earthquakes throughout the Stone Sea, eventually leading to the remaining humans to leave as the area becomes more unstable. By letting the Edict of Stone persist, you allow the Stone Stalkers to develop a nation of their own, where beastmen are free to grow their culture away from human habitation. The tribe expands by welcoming the strong and expelling the weak, grooming their ranks for a prosperous tomorrow. The Stone Stalkers grow in power, using the magic-infused crystals to fuel their spells. The death of the Radix is a huge blow to the disfavored. Without the support of the Mage Guild, the Legion finds itself outclassed for the first time and suffers on the battlefield. By claiming Sentinel Stand for yourself, your renown spreads across the region, and everyone comes to know you as the liberator of the country's most iconic fortress. That you claimed it for pride instead of any tactical advantage is a point of contention, which your harshest detractors never fail to cite in their long list of grievances. To save her child, Amelia abdicated her claim to the throne of Stalwart. Lacking allies or a mission beyond survival, she bundles the baby close and sets out to find a safer, less warlike frontier in modest anonymity. If the need arises, she is ready to protect the precious burden with her life. Though it takes time to recover from the devastation of the Edict of Storms, the Blade Grave begins its slow march towards healing. The realm of Stalwart may never resemble its former glory, but the land is not so blasted that something new and better can't be built atop the bones of the past. The Regent bloodline has ended. With it, new traditions and legacies spring to life. Following Bledenmark's direction, you fought your way through the Scarlet Chorus in control of the Vellum Citadel, and found your way to the Silent Archive. By removing it from the building, you were able to end the Edict of Fire, and also acquire an artifact of immense power. By claiming the Vellum Citadel for yourself, you treated the repository of knowledge no better than the sages of old, hoarding it from the deserving scholars and public who could benefit from history's most poignant lessons. You resolved to plumb the depths of the library's rarest collections, setting your every intentions on secrets not meant for prying eyes. Though the sages persist in wandering the tiers and gathering research, the loss of the Vellum Citadel proves too crippling a defeat. The scribes and mages seek opportunity away from their old home, a new refuge where they can start again, this time making sure that their knowledge doesn't fall into the wrong hands. By withholding the Magebane helm from Lethian's Crossing, you sabotage the city's protection against the Bane haunting the borders from inside the old walls. Sensing the vulnerability in its defenses, an unstoppable wave of Bane invade Lethian's crossing, wreaking havoc and causing a catastrophic loss of life. The few ragged survivors abandon the city to the scourges, never to return. You allowed the Forgebound Master to live, as her life held no bearing on your greater schemes. With Ash dead and the disfavored floundering, the Forgebound also fail, having lost their main source of work. Eventually, their numbers dwindle to a handful of skilled forge workers who only take commissions from the very wealthy. By enacting an edict on Vendrian's Well, you announced your power to the world and showed Kairos forces that you were what you were capable of. When you defeated their leader and scattered the army before you, it sent the message to Kairos: a new Archon is born. When the edict dissipated, its effects will always be felt as the first true threat of Kairos rule. The death of Graven Ash means the end of the disfavored. Without the comfort and support of their great general, what remains of the Legion sinks into hopelessness. The Archon's seat is left vacant, and whether or not it can be occupied again is a heated topic. Far from this place of the final rest, the Northern Empire mourns its fallen son. Killing the voices of Nerat spread the joy of bloody vengeance across the continent. Celebrated as the death of history's greatest parasite, the occasion is marked by all who suffered under the oppression of the Scarlet Chorus. Even in victory, one thought nags you. Though you witnessed his death, you can't help but wonder if the voices of Nerat is done with you. With the death of Tunon the Adjudicator, the bastard city threatens to slide back into its lawless ways. Keeping the peace and imposing a new definition of order commands all of your focus. You learn to delegate the responsibilities to a new court of Fatebinders, who lighten the burden and make the Archon's absence a manageable setback. The death of Bledden Mark deprived the world of a most capable murderer. This was the one I regretted the most. One less bedtime story to scare children is no significant loss, though you can't help but glance at the dark corners of every room and feel as if something is watching you. Bledden Mark will always cast a long shadow on your life. The death of Graven Ash left Beric a shadow of his former self. He follows you for a time, as much out of habit as reflex. All agree that there is nothing of him left under the iron shell. He departs your company without a word, assuming a position at a crossroads, where he allows himself to rust as solid as any statue. Verse finds herself adrift in the relative peace that followed your conquest. She returns to the field and seeks out young women from rural communities, imparting her fighting skills to only the most passionate. Over the course of many apprentices, she follows the voices of Nerat's example and forms a personal army, the Callous Sisterhood. Verse proves to be a strict teacher, and you hire her services often, confident that she'll take any assignment where there's blood to be spilled. Lantry keeps a close watch over you, scribbling his account of your deeds and accomplishments. In his tireless quest to fill the chronicles with history and knowledge, he follows you even into his twilight years, and together you learn much about the world. You pretend not to notice Lantry's waning strength, though you find yourself pausing mid-sentence to let his writing catch up. He recognizes your generous ruse, and appreciates it in silence. Ebb remains in your company, where she seeks out promising recruits among your supporters. After recognizing some obvious talent, she takes on a team of apprentices in a new school of would-be tidecasters. Though she often jokes that the school is bound to fail, with her at the helm, her students think otherwise, as do the many dozens of hopefuls who come begging for her tutelage. Kills in Shadows shows little interest in cleaning up the tears after your victory. Instead, she takes it upon herself to hunt down every disfavored soldier in the country. You hear frequent word of maulings and disappearances among Kairos ranks, perpetuated by a beast of legendary ferocity, though you could no doubt track down your wayward companion. You let her continue the bloody work out of equal parts respect and fear. Siren grows quiet over time, speaking little and forgoing her songs as she distances herself from your military. One day she simply walks out of camp and makes for the wilderness of the Tears. Rumors reach your ear that Siren has occupied an abandoned mountainside temple, her vow of silence drawing a small group of respectful followers. You leave her in peace. By abandoning your decorated career in Kairos military, you gave the Tears room to define the path ahead. The future will not be mapped by foreign ideals or the will of the distant autocrat. It is only a matter of time before the Overlord launches a retaliation. You will be ready to face it. Without allies, the winds are especially cold atop your spire. You await Kairos' inevitable advance, brooding over the decisions that led you to this point. Though the Tears are a friendless place, they are indisputably your home. And that was Tyranny. I hope everyone enjoyed that. I enjoyed this immensely, short as it may be. I'm just going to go through. That was probably my favorite of the of this style of game, honestly. Disco Elysium. So currently it's Disco Elysium and then this right after it. I quite like that. I feel like it was very short and the story is very clearly unfinished, but it left off at a good point. It leaves it open for Tyranny too, right? Also, what is this? Oh, I missed out on companion quests? Yeah, I can do that next time I play the game. This one is going on my list of things I want to play again. Now, what's with the mostly negative? Huh. Short, buggy, shallow new content. Companion's quest should have been a part of the main game. Eh. Well, maybe I won't look at it. What about this one? Expands your journey through the war-torn world. That would have probably increased it. I'll consider doing the DLC if I wanted to do this again, which I do. So let's say, however, that this is done. Tyranny. It's gonna give me an error, isn't it? Yeah, it did. I guess that's not surprising. So we've got Disco Elysium up next. I might allow Spiritfarer to take the top. Honestly, I'm very happy with this. This is, aside from its length, just really good. So, I'm going to send everyone off. Thank you, everyone who has been watching. So thank you to my Patreon supporters, Tenace Games, Slime Hunter, Walks with Gorillas, my dad, Kremlin Kev, Desalona, Miss Mango Plays, and NBFF. And until next time, I hope you all have a safe trip through the Dark Forest. If you would like to support me, there's obviously the Patreon. That's all you got. Let's find someone to raid. Go ahead and raid Caracat. I haven't raided her in a while. Alright. Good night, everyone.